India is reeling after 3 seemingly coordinated bomb blasts ripped through the financial capital Mumbai, killing 18 people and injuring more than 100. It's the worst terrorist attack to hit the city since Pakistan-based militants killed 166 people in 2008. Local intelligence agencies claim they had no warning of the latest attacks. The Pakistani government has condemned the bombings, but the tragedy is sure to raise tensions between the two neighbours. Scott Bevan reports.
We infer that this was a coordinated attack by terrorists. The entire city of Mumbai has been put on high alert.
This is one of the easiest ways that any terrorist can strike at soft targets in India, and unfortunately Mumbai is and continues to be a very soft target.
For the people of Mumbai, it must have felt like terrible recent history repeating. 3 explosions within minutes of each other tore at the heart of India's biggest city during the early evening. The first in a busy shopping area called Zavari Bazaar. The second blast had been in the Opera House business district.
This is the #1 diamond market in India, and in the evening there are about 5,000 people here on the streets. When the blast took place, it was heard almost half a kilometre away.
And then a third in the city centre in the Dada district. As the injured were rushed to hospital, reaction rippled out of Mumbai and across India as the major cities tightened security.
All our quick response teams and cluster security teams are alert. Round the clock, vehicle checking is going on.
And world leaders once more uttered their disgust at yet another attack.
We condemn these despicable acts of violence designed to provoke fear and division. Those who perpetrated them must know they cannot succeed.
Just who the perpetrators are is not yet known. Professor Amin Saikal is director of the Centre for Arab and Islamic Studies at the Australian National University, and he says there are a few suspects.
There are people, there are groups within India itself which could possibly try to undermine the position of the government and the security of the country. But at the same time, there would be people in India which would point a finger to Pakistan, and more specifically to the Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is an extremist Pakistani group, and it was responsible for a bombing of Mumbai in 2008.
This is the first major terrorist attack in Mumbai since those 2008 strikes on a string of city landmarks, including luxury hotels. More than 160 people were killed, and because of the militants' links to Pakistan, those attacks further strained the already fragile relations between the neighbouring countries. Rory Medcalf is a former diplomat who worked in India and is now the International Security Program Director at the Lowy Institute. He sees some big differences between the 2008 incident and this one, which he says appears to have been less professional with the use of 3 improvised explosive devices. But he believes these 3 explosions may have been aimed at shattering India-Pakistan relations, which have been repairing in recent months.
There could well be a link to the fact that the Indian and Pakistani foreign ministers are due to meet 2 weeks from now. Every time we see India and Pakistan begin to cross boundaries diplomatically, begin to be willing to talk about their differences, we see a very fertile environment for terrorism. It's a perfect way to derail that relationship.
If they do discover this time that some Pakistani elements may have been behind it, either in collaboration with the Pakistani government or independent of the Pakistani government, then obviously that would result in further deterioration of relations between the two sides and making the Indian subcontinent more insecure and more unpredictable than has been the case in the past.
While the attack has again exposed Mumbai as a target, Indian leaders are maintaining they will not flinch.
Terror will be defeated. Wherever it is, they cannot and will never win.
But Rory Medcalf says this incident will put pressure on the Indian government, especially from those demanding retaliation.
Every time this happens, there are vengeful, hawkish voices within the Indian establishment and the media and the military who want to see military action taken. I don't think India is capable of that. I do think that this will strengthen the hand of the friends of India in the international community, but there will continue to be a desperate need or a desperate concern in India for something to be done in regard to Pakistan. It's very hard to see what that can be with Pakistan in the mess that it's in.
Scott Bevan reporting.